So one of my sister's favorite cakes is red velvet, and I promised Deborah we would make it together while I was visiting her in Switzerland, and this is that video for you guys. So making it is fairly simple. Obviously you first have to start by preheating your oven. I suggest you preheat it to 180 degrees Celsius. Once that's done, we can move on to the hard stuff, which is not really hard. So I'm adding all the wet ingredients into a bowl. So we've got our yogurt, I've got some oil. If you don't have yogurt, you can just mix milk and a tablespoon of vinegar. Then in went the eggs. And in case you're wondering, this is Deborah who is mixing everything here because she was learning after all. So I feel like the best way to learn is by doing. So as they're barking orders, which as the older sister is my right to do. I'm just joking, I don't bully my sisters all the time, just sometimes. So obviously being me, I had to clean up while she was doing this. So she also added some melted butter, and you then need to bring some food color. We're using a powdered food color, which was okay. She didn't have too much of it. We ended up adding a raspberry food color that she had from Kenya. I'm not even sure when she bought it. I didn't even look at the date because I was too scared to look at the expiry date. I'm pretty sure it had been there for a while. Anywho, you also need to add some vinegar, and this is going to react with your bicarb later on. It's going to bring some nice bubbles. Some vanilla paste went in as well, and again you can use vanilla essence if that's what you have. So it doesn't have to be vanilla paste. If you have fresh vanilla, more power to you. That's actually, I would personally go for that. So wet ingredients are mixed, and now we're going to do the dry ingredients. So some all-purpose flour. If you have cake flour, then I recommend you use cake flour. It'll give you a really nice soft cake. Then add some bicarb and some baking powder as well. So a teaspoon of each. And then also some cocoa powder. Don't go too crazy here. About 3 to 4 teaspoons is more than enough. We don't want the chocolate flavor to overpower. So she just added, I think, even 4 here. And then in goes some sugar. The sugar is slightly more than the all-purpose flour. That was definitely not an error. And as always, guys, the full recipe is in the description box below. So now you just need to get your mixer on and let the powders mix a bit. Unless, if you want, you can sieve them together, but we were not going to do that. That's just adding extra work. And then you just have to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. And please don't mix for more than 1 minute. So now Debbie's adding some butter into the cake pan. We actually have some baking paper at the bottom of the cake pan as well, just to make sure that it doesn't stick. And just an extra security measure, we're adding some all-purpose flour in there, just to make sure it coats the butter. Like I said, that's just to make sure that the cake doesn't stick, because, oh, that would be the worst thing. That's happened to me numerous times where the cake sticks and you just want to cry. So at this point, if you have 2 cake tins, please use those. Debbie didn't have 2 cake tins that were a small size, so we had to bake it in 2 batches. It just made it so much harder. Debbie, I need to get you cake tins, man. And then just add it to your oven. If you're using a gas oven, add a metal bowl with water there as well, or a cake tin with water. While that was happening, I was busy snacking away. And Teddy, Debbie's dog, just couldn't get her eyes off the snacks. Here I was thinking I was a cool person. She just wanted to hang out with me, but she clearly just wanted the snacks. I miss my dog right now. I have a cute little one as well back home. Well, she wasn't my friend after this. Anywho, so while that was going, while the cake was baking, I thought I would just make the icing for the top, the frosting rather, but it didn't work when I tried it with the blender, so I just put it in the mixer. And why I used the blender was because Debbie's sugar had icing sugar had clumped together, so I thought I would just use the blender to break it. That didn't work, but this was still fine. Cake is looking nice, and yeah, Debbie was being a good aunt to lift my son up. And once the cake is baked, you obviously have to bake the other one if you're using 1 tin. Let it cool, get some love, sisterly love, and then you just have to add the icing. I kind of forgot to film halfway, sorry. But yeah, I just iced the cake, which is not rocket science. There's other cake videos here you can watch on my channel where I actually ice from start to finish. So here's the thing, the next day I woke up and I was like, ooh, I can have some cake. Yo, that's what I found, which means someone went to the fridge in the middle of the night. Wasn't me. So I decided to leave the cake for our other sister Jessie and just enjoy the view instead.